Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of BrainScratch Searchlight. I'm your host, John Lorden, and today we're going to be looking in the New York area for our case, and we're starting on the website for the city of Binghamton, and they have a web page here specifically for their unsolved cases. And if you look through the unsolved cases, you can see we've got several homicides, they've got some arsons that are unsolved, but there's only one missing person that is unsolved in that area, and her name is Bambi Madden. So today we're going to jump into this story, share a bunch of information, and hopefully you can be one of the people that helps bring Bambi back to her family. We're going to start with the Charley project. Here we can see some pictures. And unfortunately she went disappearing in 2006, so she would be approximately 10 years, a little over 10 years older now. I haven't found any age progressions for her, but you can get a good sense of what she looks like from the photos posted here. So let's go into the vital statistics. Missing since January 11th, 2006 from Binghamton, New York. Endangered missing. Her date of birth is June 21st, 1974. She was 31 years old at the time she went missing. Height and weight, 5'4" to 5'8", which is a pretty big range. I'm not sure why they don't have that buttoned down a little bit. 100 to 115 pounds. Distinguishing characteristics, Caucasian female, blonde hair, blue hazel eyes. Madden's nickname is Bam Bam, and she may use the following alias last names: Burns, Fisk, and or Griswold. Her ears are pierced and she wears eyeglasses for reading. She smokes cigarettes, preferably Marlboro or Newport brand, drinks beer, and enjoys eating at McDonald's restaurants. Madden has a scar on her right hand. She has the following tattoos: a flower and rainbow on her right shoulder, a rose on her right breast, the letters SWF, CMG, and TOM on her left shoulder, a guitar with musical notes on her right ankle, a unicorn and crescent moon on her right thigh, a guitar and the name Tommy on her right shoulder, and flames and skulls on her right shoulder. The clothing and jewelry description is that she was wearing a size medium, dark colored puffy South Pole or polo jacket, size 3 black jeans, size 6 black Timberland boots, gold earrings, and a gold ring with a red stone. Medical conditions, it is noted that she has a history of drug abuse. Let's jump over to the Namus profile real quick. I just want to see, yeah, they actually have a little variation in her height as well. They're saying from 65 to 68 inches tall, and her weight would be from 105 to 115 pounds. So same variation on both of those. Details of disappearance. Madden was last seen walking away from her residence in the 20 block of Winding Way in Binghamton, New York at 11 p.m. on January 11th, 2006. She said she was going to a convenience store to buy beer. She never came home and has never been heard from again. Madden apparently did not visit any local stores. Surveillance cameras at those establishments did not show her there on the night of her disappearance. She was carrying $5 in cash at the time she went missing. That's a fact that is often cited in this case, and I'm not positive where that information came from. I don't know why someone would necessarily know how much cash she had on her when she went missing. And in 2006, you know, if you're going out to buy some beer, $5 to me just seems a little light. I mean, sure, you can get, you know, a can of beer or maybe a 40 ounce or something like that, but I don't know, to go out at 11 o'clock at night with $5, just it kind of hits me just a little strange. At the time of her disappearance, Madden frequented Sarah's Pub and the Brass Rail Grill, both bars on Clinton Street in Binghamton. No one at the bars remembers seeing her after January 11th, however. At first it was believed she had left of her own accord. Although she has never been gone this long before without contacting her family, she is married and has 3 children and a grandchild. She was petitioning to get custody of her grandchild and disappeared the day before a scheduled court hearing on the matter. So it did strike me a little bit that she disappeared the day before a court hearing that has to do with custody of one of her grandchildren. it's a bit of a weird situation, because you think if someone's planning on doing something to her, how did they know that she was going to go walking at 11 o'clock at night from her home? Is there someone sitting outside her home just kind of staking the place out, waiting? Is this a family member that maybe had inside information, was able to trigger something to happen to her? I'm not sure, and there isn't a lot of details about this custody hearing. I've seen that it is about shared custody, but some people are really asking the question, you know, how is this hearing going to go for her with her having a previous drug history? And there's a little more detail here about that. Madden's loved ones described her as a friendly person with no known enemies. She did have one prior arrest for misdemeanor drug charges. Although there is no hard evidence of foul play in her case, the possibility has not been ruled out. Her disappearance remains unsolved, and here you can see for the investigating agency, they have contact information for the Binghamton Police Bureau. I will include that in the description box below. I'm also including the police case number, so if you do have some tips to call in, please use the case number. It'll make that go a lot easier for you. And also the Namus profile is down below with the Namus case number, so if you want to report information into them as well, please do so if you have some information to contribute. Just to see the area and give you a little idea of what this area is like, this is where she lived at 29 Winding Way. And people are not sure if she walked up to Oak Street here or if she walked down Winding Way and met up with Front Street down here. When they have two events that they pretty much do for her annually. On the day that she disappears, her family will usually go to what is called the one-stop grocery up here, but it's also been reported that she was heading to a Hess, which I think is some type of gas station out there. When I run a local search, I don't find one in this immediate area, but just know that there is some conflicting information in terms of where she's going, so I don't know if that's very solid, if they knew what store in particular she was going to. However, her family does hold their annual event at the one-stop grocery, and as you can see here on the map, in terms of walking distance, it's only about 6 minutes to walk that. It's a third of a mile. There is another liquor store that I found, but that's across the river down here. It's still within a mile. It's about 0.6 of a mile, but it's just the start of this mystery. We really don't know which direction she was walking to, and there seems to be some dispute about what store she was even going to. Now, despite the fact that this has not been, there's not a lot of coverage about this, the coverage that there is about it is relatively good. There is some solid information out there, so I wanted to share that with you guys. And we're starting here at missingpersonnews.com. This article was written about 7 years after her disappearance. It's just talking about the fact that the police have followed on every tip, but nothing has been found. Here's a little more detail on the court case. Bambi had been working with the courts to get joint custody of her granddaughter and was due in court for a hearing on the matter the day after her disappearance. According to her sister, Jackie Fisk, Bambi had been excited about the prospect of going to court and gaining shared custody of her granddaughter when they spoke just 1 day prior to Bambi's disappearance. It was completely unlike her to go to such lengths for her grandchild and then fail to show up in court. Her family now knew there was something drastically wrong. Even though police have no evidence suggesting foul play in Bambi's disappearance, they say they have not ruled out the possibility. Police also have no evidence of any cell phone pings or credit card use because Bambi owned neither. With no sign of Bambi on the local store surveillance cameras, no phones or credit cards to trace, and nobody coming forward with information, police have very little to go on. And that's why I was really compelled to cover this case once I started looking into it. Like I said, there's a handful of information out there. We're going to go through most of it here, but there's not a whole lot, and this is a case that is now going over its 10th year, and someone out there knows something. The question is, do you know yourself, or do you know a person that might have information on this case? So please be sure to share this video with people in that area. You never know what can be shaken out by that. Let's continue. This is a story at pressconnects.com and was written for kind of the 10-year anniversary of her disappearance. and it is a lengthy article. However, there's a bunch of great detail in it. They have also integrated video clips in it. So you can see interviews with her sister, you can see news reporters that are kind of talking about the local area and what the area is like. I highly, highly recommend, if you're interested in this case, please, if you only check out one article about this, check out this article from PressConnects.com. It is definitely the strongest retelling of the story and kind of brings you up to speed in terms of the current thoughts and analysis of the story. And we're actually going to come back to this at the end here, but let's continue to Websleuths.com, which of course has a thread on this. And in particular, I just wanted to call out Lavender Lotus, who is someone that says they are local to that area. They have pretty much been single-handedly trying to keep this thread alive, trying to add any new information. They keep bumping the thread to add a new post to it so that it doesn't get closed out. It just, whenever you find someone doing good, trying to help other people like this, I like to call them out, and Lavender Lotus is definitely that person in this case. She has gone to some of the events around the anniversary of Bambi's disappearance. She has helped hand out flyers. I just really appreciate people that are putting in an effort like that, so I just wanted to call that out. The Websleuths thread has some interesting theories. Nothing very solid, but it is a good place if you want to see just kind of a throughput of what people are talking about as the news stories kind of come out. Along the same lines, you also have a Reddit thread, which is admittedly brief, but they do have one particular comment in here that kind of sums up everything in terms of theories. This is from Rachel Stabs People. That's a heck of a username there, but hey, it's Reddit. This is an interesting case because there are several worrisome details that could possibly suggest foul play. She had a history with drugs. Could she have also been a prostitute on the side? I gotta say, I've seen 2 references to possible prostitution, and there's no other information to support those at all. And I believe I saw something that her family has spoken out against that comment very strongly. So I don't know if she was or wasn't, but based on the information I've reviewed, I see nothing to support that thought, and I'm kind of surprised it even comes up, but it does come up, so I wanted to share that with you. Maybe she was using with someone, overdosed, or was involved in a drug deal gone wrong, her body stashed in the woods. Perhaps she messed around and got a drug dealer pissed off at her. Then the impending custody dispute. Why would her son/daughter lose custody? Could they have a history of drug abuse, neglect, abuse? Why would a court potentially place a child with a grandparent if they are a known drug user? It seems like she was known to be a bit of a barfly. She could have easily come into contact with unsavory individuals. Anyone have any other thoughts? I can at least appreciate that this person is really trying to put theories out there and asking for other people to contribute in the same way. Unfortunately, no one really adds any theories beyond the ones that she has mentioned, although another one does come up, and for this we're going to jump back to that article at PressConnects.com. And if you go through this whole story, there's a real interesting turn that happens here where some graffiti is found, and here's an actual picture of it. And it says, Bambi Madden, 29 Winding Way, arrested, died in police custody, statement under oath, witness, call FBI, and then it has a number for the FBI here. It showed up on a church wall apparently, and that happened 2 years after she had disappeared. And this is the only article that I found that mentions this. Of course, the authorities say they don't know what this thing is trying to say. They don't know of her being in police custody, and I think they pretty much deny that they have any involvement in her disappearance. But it is very curious that someone wrote this on a church wall, and it seems to me the way they wrote this with the dashes in here that they're trying to find another witness, that they're essentially saying the statement under oath is something that they have already provided, and it looks to me like they're saying, did you witness this? If so, call the FBI. But honestly, I'm even making an assumption there because this is kind of written in broken English. Is this a family member that heard something and wanted to, try to test it out by putting some information out there and hoped that a witness might bring forward more details about this? Is this a friend of the family's? I really don't know, but it would seem to me that this is someone that is very closely connected to the case, that has some very strong feelings about it, that did this graffiti. But this is pretty much the only instance that you will find online about this graffiti is on this Press Connects article. There is also a Facebook page for Bambi. You can see the banner here talks about that they're still trying to find her after 7 years. Unfortunately, it is now 10 years. But you get to see some more information about her, stay-at-home parent. She went to Chenango Valley Junior and Senior High School in Binghamton, New York. And then if we jump to current news on this, once again, we hit Press Connects, and they talk about the fact that January 11th has been now named as Bambi Madden Day by the city. That's a great way for them to keep awareness raised to this. I believe that having one missing person case with that local law enforcement division, that they would probably be somewhat motivated to knock that case out so that they had no missing person cases in that community. So it seems like city council and the city staff is basically kind of taking that up. This video shows a pretty heartfelt exchange here between a city official giving notification to the family about this day being declared. And then at WBNG.com, we also get notification, and this was just in June on the 21st of this year, 2016, that dozens came to celebrate Bambi Madden's 45th birthday. They gathered in Ostinigo Park to celebrate her birthday. And once again, they're using this article to just remind people about what has happened. And here it states that she was on her way to a Hess gas station. I did see it in one other place as well, and I think in Websleuths people were asking, hey, we're seeing two different locations. Do we know where she went? I did not see any firm clarification on that. So once again, I'm not sure which location she went to. No one's really sure what street she went to once she got off of Winding Way. And it seems like probably only people that are involved with her disappearance would know what happened to Bambi that night and where she wound up. So once again, this is where I hand it over to you, my amazing BrainScratch Searchlight audience. Please share this information with people in the Binghamton, New York area, might even be in other parts of New York. I did see some people discussing a serial killer that may have worked in the New York area. I looked at where his other case had happened, and it was literally hours away from this part of New York, so I don't know that there's a lot of weight to that. But if you want to look into that more, go to the Websleuths thread. You can see the serial killer's name. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you can chase after that if you'd like to. Unfortunately, he killed himself in jail, so there's not a lot that's going to come out of that in terms of a confession or anything along those lines. But could he have been part of this? Perhaps. Is there a chance that she ran away for some reason? It's possible. She seemed to really love her family, in particular in some of the articles where her sister is talking. They lived very close to each other. They spent a lot of time together. Whenever there was a family member's birthday, Bambi was always the one to make the cake for them. She was kind of known for doing that. And as a matter of fact, her mother even says that she hasn't had a birthday cake since Bambi disappeared. So I don't know that she's the type to disappear of her own volition. Is there something about a drug deal? It's weird because you have her going out at 11 o'clock at night. And she's going out admittedly for alcohol. So there's something to the thought that maybe she was going there to meet up with someone. Maybe she was going to buy something. I think there's a possibility of that. What works against that for me is knowing that she was going to court the next morning for either what is shared custody or temporary custody, depending on where you read about it, of one of her grandchildren. And would she really risk that by potentially getting busted in some type of drug deal the night before? I kind of doubt it, but then you also have to consider this is someone that's going out at 11 at night to buy beer. not that she would be super hungover the next morning, but it just, I can't tell you if she's respecting that court date the next morning or not. It's risky either way you look at it. But at least the story that's being told to us is she went out, she was at least going out to buy beer that night, 11 o'clock at night, when she had this pretty important kind of court date the next morning. So does that mean that this person should be discounted even if she was involved with drugs, even if this was a drug deal gone wrong or something like that? No, I will never subscribe to that. Everyone has a right to be found. Everyone has a right to a proper burial if that's the case, if they are found dead, unfortunately. And I believe Bambi's family has the right to those things, as well as her if she has deceased. So that's what's really important about cases like this. You know, you look at them and you say, well, it's been 10 years. She probably would have contacted her family by now. I mean, she left kids behind. She left a grandchild behind. 3 children she had. Is there really some feasibility that she's still alive? It might be small, but I believe there is. And there has indeed been cases where people have come back to their lives after 10 years. So it wouldn't be completely unheard of. Is it possible that she met her demise? It is indeed possible. But even in that case, the answers still need to be brought out. The police really have nothing to investigate at this point. There is no crime scene. There is no crime that they can see here. So someone out there, I believe, has the information that can help trigger the next step in this case, no matter what that next step is. If it's finding her alive and bringing her home, or finding her alive, getting in touch with her and her saying, hey, no, I want my privacy, but you can tell my family that I've been found, but I'm not coming back. Or if the next step is, hey, this is a homicide, we need to process this case and move forward from here. Someone out there has the information. Now, the big question is, do you have the ability to find that person and get this video or some of those links in the description box below to them and prompt them to maybe do the right thing and share this information with the authorities? Man, tough case, but I really appreciate you spending the time to review this. And if you have any comments about it, please use the comment box below and share information. If you find more links that I haven't presented, please go ahead and add those to the comment box below. Let's make this a good repository of information for anyone interested in this case. When I looked for a YouTube video on this, I found 0. There is absolutely no coverage of this on YouTube. And I know all of you, if you're longtime brain scratchers, you know that I believe the format of YouTube is very important, particularly in cases like this, because it makes this information searchable. It keeps the conversation going with that comment thread that you guys participate in down below, and it keeps the information growing in a spot where it's really easy to find it. So please, 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 use those comments if you have some thoughts or further information on this case. And let's get this video seen by the right people, and maybe we can help Bambi's family put this to rest, or potentially even bring her home. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you very much for joining me on this edition of BrainScratch Searchlight. Please stay safe, take care, and have an excellent week. And I'll catch you on the next show on the Geek and Dorks channel.